But that was sort of the first one that
I hit the
made its
record
way
button.
in.
Don't
You
slander that Korean
bastard.
chicken.
And we're talking about fried chicken today here on podcast 1999.
Is that what they call hot chicken? Is that the same thing?
Yeah. We're
Okay.
here for 1999 herbs and spices. No, hot chicken is from Nashville. Korean
Oh,
fried chicken is from Korea.
so what's hot chicken?
It's it's not buffalo, but it's like just spicy.
I have to
It's
look
like
at hot
more
chicken.
based on a pepper thing.
Is that a
Like
new thing?
No.
No.
I mean, I think last time you lived in Atlanta, there wasn't a lot of it here, and now there is.
Okay, and now I got some pictures.
But I don't mess with hot things as much anymore unless they are.
But you
Okay.
like bonjon? It's not that hot?
Yeah, it's not hot.
Okay.
Bonjon.
Yeah, Korean fried chicken. Dude, I went to this one place where they had I think it was last summer, they had a special and it was just like maple it was like maple syrup flavored fried chicken and it was just tasted like, breakfast waffles. It was great though. It was like not,
chicken and waffles. That's a staple.
sugar. Yeah, it
But
was
they're
like chicken
based
and
in
waffles flavored
Dallas.
chicken.
It seems that multiple chicken and waffle places have opened and closed around the Bay Area. I've not been able to establish one there. I could actually depend on going there, and saying, oh, it's still there because it would disappear in like 6 months.
Chicken and waffles never sound like a mix I wanted.
I kind of wonder. I love chicken and waffles. I kind of wonder what the rent's like there. Like if it's as bad as the residential rent, or right? There's a huge problem there, right?
Sure, started talking about money and I tuned out.
Oh, you mean rent in California?
Yeah.
Problem, right? That might be part of it. Maybe it's, retail rental prices are, through the roof. So
we kind of have that problem here. Is like if restaurants don't just catch on immediately, they just flop.
80% of new ramen restaurants close within the first 6 months in Japan.
In Japan?
Yeah.
Man. I mean, that's pretty crowded field, right?
Yeah.
Not that's not racist to me to say that, right?
Oh no. I mean,
okay.
There's a ramen place.
Just making sure.
I don't live in a crowded spot anyway.
Did we just go to? Yeah, we just went to a ramen place recently, but we ended up not getting any ramen. We got other dishes, but it was good. It's a sort of a chain around here.
Nope, all you're getting at the ramen place around here is ramen.
Pretty much nothing but ramen.
There's a few.
It's called nothing but ramen.
by the time we got good ramen here, it was the mid 2010s, and it was basically like $8, and now it's more like $16. Yeah,
it's like
I mean, for $16 you'll get a really good ramen, but it's still like not, it's still not quite 2 meals worth.
Speaking of fast food places in the same shopping center, are you guys familiar with Mod Pizza?
We have them here. I haven't been to one though.
Oh well, you better go quick because they're apparently it has a chain. They're on the ropes apparently financially.
Is it okay
like
if I just
kind of like Red Lobster? Yeah.
Oh, I'll go to Red Lobster, but the thing is,
Mod Pizza's okay. I like it. It's actually pretty economical. You can get like a medium-sized pizza for under $10, and there was a salad you can get for under $20. You can have a pizza and a salad. It was a pretty good deal. But it's been a while since I've been there. Even though I was right next door to it, like last night, I didn't go in.
Is it one of those places where you choose what's on your pizza and it's just like it's a flat rate?
Yeah, it's like a buffet thing where it's like like a burrito or whatever. Some places you just walk up and you just ask for this, that, and the other, and they make it right in front of you, and then they put it in the oven. Or you can order off the menu.
Everyone's first time, like, I'm gonna get 15 toppings. So like, this is terrible. That's like everything.
Don't
the cinnamon roll. The cinnamon roll place opened, and I got like it was like chai cinnamon roll with peanut butter and chocolate and something else on it. It was like terrible. I was like, why did I do this to myself?
We got Domino's last year and everyone hated it, but that makes sense. I just wanted to have the nostalgia kick. Yeah. I know we have, but there's not that many places like order a pizza from. When there's Pizza La. Pizza La is where we were.
Is that like Cobra Law?
Yeah, but it's Pizza La.
It looks like Shanie's going through the menu and finding more things she likes. I may have to go by here on my way to work.
Nice.
And by go by, I mean go over there, buy something, bring it back home, and then go to work.
Yeah, man. You'll enjoy it. It's pretty good stuff.
May do that tomorrow.
But
Yeah.
but the thing about Domino's is it doesn't like feel like it has an identity. Like Pizza Hut tastes like its own thing, and Burger King and McDonald's and Arby's, a lot of the fast food chains, they taste like you could blindfold somebody and give them Burger King burger like a Whopper and they know what it is. It's like you could blindfold somebody and give them Domino's and they wouldn't be able to identify it. Even Papa John's, if you throw in the dipping sauce. If you don't throw in the dipping sauce, then it's generic again.
That's the
Domino's
pizza,
is
right?
saving. Yeah, it's saving grace for us is like it's about a mile from my office, and you can get a pizza for $6.99, which is
yeah, Little Caesars. But then again,
yeah, we also have a Little Caesars there. Yeah, but they're not open as late, so sometimes we go there, but sometimes we don't.
I got my onsen pizza yesterday. Not in the onsen.
Did it come out of the onsen?
And that'd be weird. It's next to the onsen.
It floats. They float it down the onsen.
There's a floater in the onsen.
Yeah, it's called floater onsen.
No, that would be bad.
You want with that? What do you want with that? If you're gonna make a floater onsen restaurant, you want it to be ground beef. It's gonna just be beef patties.
Well, they do have the curry restaurants where they serve you the curry in like a bowl that looks like a toilet bowl.
I mean, curry, if you really think about it, does often look like rough times at the toilet.
That's why the restaurants do that. It doesn't seem very appetizing though.
I'm half Lebanese, and there is like a Lebanese dish called kibbeh that's just like bulgur wheat rolled into like ground beef and cooked, so it's sort of like just a crunchy burger thing, but I have seen it served like in poop shape. So you could float that down the onsen. I'm gonna make that my catchphrase. You could float that down the onsen.
Is that like you can take it to the bank?
Yeah.
I had chicken curry Friday, and yeah, it always looks terrible but tastes delicious.
Yeah, it's like my favorite food, so I can't like get mad about. I mean, technically chocolate ice cream looks terrible.
You and Dave Lister.
No, he's eating Indian curry though. He's eating.
I love Indian curry. I mean,
I don't know why I just assumed we were talking about Japanese curry at first, but
I mean, I love all curry, but yeah, I think Japanese curry is my favorite. But depending on what sometimes it's a Masaman curry.
Hashtag oops all curries.
Masaman curry. Look at this thing I got to solder with. Like to hold the little boards.
Be like the Toy Story guy now.
I'm imagining a cereal box with that phrase on it. Oops, all curry.
Well, oops, all. I mean, curry breakfast cereal wouldn't be the worst thing, right?
Curry drink wasn't that bad.
Oops, all berries, right? That's where the line comes from. Yep.
I made a meme a long time ago.
I made a meme a long time ago. Curry drink. I want to see.
Yeah, you said you had a curry drink.
Wonder if I could find it at the little Asian market here.
I imagine it's kind of like having a V8.
I think it was a pretty rarity. Oh, here's a picture of it.
I like those smoothie drinks where there's always the one that's just the vegetables without sugar in it. I've kind of grown to really like those.
Pureed vegetables probably the best thing you could consume for yourself.
Oh, this isn't Discord. There is no chat. What am I doing?
I'm weirdly offended.
Yes, there's a chat. Yeah, there's the chat.
I'm weirdly offended when people hate those pureed vegetable drinks because I'm like, damn it, I like those, and they're the only thing that I like that's healthy.
There it is. That's curry drink.
Got it.
Wait a minute. I'm switching screens here.
That looks pretty suspicious. All right.
Oh, okay.
So I got it out of a machine next to my office. It came out of a vending machine.
Something you got in a restaurant, not a.
No. This is vending machine. You can also get clam soup in a vending machine and a few other things.
I'm just most certainly Dr. Pepper.
You can get Dr. Pepper with like almost pornographic anime women on them. Mark, you've seen
hot Dr. Pepper.
Huh?
That's the thing in like Texas. Hot Dr. Pepper. People
that sounds terrible.
Boil it on the stove.
No, that sounds terrible. I don't want that.
No, maybe it's good. What isn't as an aside, Coffee Mate did just put out a creamer that's specifically for Dr. Pepper. You're supposed to add it to Dr. Pepper.
I basically haven't had soda for like 10 years.
I most recently quit again. Except I'll still have
I kind of became a fan of the zero sugar, which is, what is it? Is this aspartame? I don't know. It tastes good.
I'm a zero sugar
opposed to earlier.
No, I don't even want to do that. Just
You might as well not. I don't think it's great for you to do that all the time.
I'm told it's not good for me, but then it's like, well, I don't want to go back to sugary soda. That's even worse for me. So then the alternative is nothing at all.
Of course, we got the chew high, drink plenty of that, so I kind of like negate
H2O.
the gains probably.
For whatever it's worth, I just stopped buying the cans, so I don't have it in my home. If I'm like out somewhere, then I'll drink it. Like today, I was at the burrito place and they had like the Coke machine that can make anything you want. You know, that thing. Do you see those, Matt?
Big True Happiness.
Yeah, because it made me mellow yellow and I mixed it with grape Fanta. So it made it True Happiness.
And then they have syrup shots, so you can have vanilla Dr. Pepper or cherry Dr. Pepper or raspberry Dr. Pepper. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, or like lime Coke.
Exactly.
Lime Coke is great.
I guess I should just switch to flavored seltzers, lime seltzer.
There's got to be something stupid to drink at the 7-Eleven right now.
It's probably just my like fragile gut biome, but like I feel a lot better when I do not drink carbonated anything.
I like carbonated things, it's not sugary stuff.
But it's like carbonated stuff makes me like weirdly not well in a way I'm not going to get too far into.
Oh, please do.
Imagine you're just sitting in a chair and it's just and your butt is just farting by itself. Anyway.
Okay, we all imagine that. I guess that's a good intro for a show.
Why did I fart 1999?
Why did I just cut it in there where you're talking, saying that with no context?
No,
I won't do that. I won't do that too.
Okay, I mean probably. You can, whatever. I don't. You do it. I don't care. You're the editor. I'm not doing this work. Okay, you bet ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Welcome to Podcast 1999, the podcast about Space 1999. I am your antimatter host, Mark.
I guess I'm anti-Brian.
I'm your non-corporeal host, Matt.
I hope you guys are having a great anti-life.
Slowly. My name is Nerob. My name is Nerob, and yours is Cram.
Cram.
You are Cram, and I am Nerob.
I'm Wet Ham.
And he is Tam.
I want to be Wet Ham. I'm using the full name.
Can we call you
Wet Ham? You could be Wet Ham. Wet Ham.
Yeah. That's right.
I would unironically use Cram with the K as my name. I don't even care. Anyway, this week's episode is A Matter of Balance.
With the preposition this time, or the article this time, because I got thrown off with matter of life and death, which had a similar-ish plot, I guess.
I don't know.
They both had antimatter, and they both
they both have the word matter in the title, don't they?
Who's dangerous.
But that guy was like, "We're warning you, stay off this planet," and this guy is like, "We're going to replace you."
Oh, right.
And then you will live a long anti-life.
Vindrus is way more fashionable.
Yeah, I was really hoping for more continuity between these two episodes because it's not the first time they've crossed paths with antimatter, but of course they had to act as though it were. And, Maya gives us the antimatter 101 speech and everything. So, and then we never hear anything about
Vindrus was actually Helena's second husband. That's why she hides for most of the episode to stay away from this guy.
She suddenly disappears after Act 1.
She's like, I think I should stay in medical, and then you never see her again.
I'm busy testing things. I can't leave. Bye.
I'm gonna say there are a lot of questionable scientific statements in this episode, and not talking about Maya's like explanation of evolution, but stuff where she says that if antimatter and matter collides, and Koenig says it'll wipe out this quadrant of the universe. I'm like, well, he didn't say quadrant, he said section, but I was like, no, what? No, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, it kind of does. I mean, we from Star Trek, we've come to think antimatter will annihilate with extreme blowy uppiness, anything that touches. And yet in Space 1999, it does, but it doesn't. It might if things go bad, but it doesn't even mention it in this episode till the very end. They're not talking about the possibility of them touching and blowing up. So I don't even know.
No, it's more just a creepy
where they were going with it.
Creepy.
It was more creepy. Ghost guy was creepy ghost from a different dimension set up than a true antimatter thing. But
fantastic rubber monster. I think we've seen it, the suit already, but that's fine. We got a nice shot of from the back where you could really consider the materials it was made from. I like that.
Well, I like that it was our beta cloud friend, but with horns.
Yeah.
They just slammed some horns onto him and he came back.
Yeah, YouTube's auto subtitles kept translating his screaming as applause. So every time he showed up and started screaming, it said applause, music.
I think
applause.
we should redub it that way.
We should just put an applause track in it.
It's the thide. Yay, the thide's here.
No, I didn't really write down quotes this week. All I wrote down was in quotations was Shamin, 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 Shamin. I'm begging of you, please don't take my Vindrus. Okay, that they didn't actually say that in the show. So
yeah, especially since her name is Shermeen, not Shamin.
Oh yeah. Is it? I wrote something different at the beginning. Sure, you're right.
I definitely wrote Shirlene a couple of times.
Before that, Shirlene. I did write Shermeen. I wrote Shermeen the first 3 times, and then when I did the dumb song quote, I wrote it wrong, and then from then on out, I just spelled it wrong.
And what's her last name?
Williams.
Very good.
It's like they gave her this name that's simultaneously difficult to remember and not memorable. So it's just like what? Yeah, it doesn't. And the subtitles kept saying whenever they said Shermeen to be like she means or something like that.
Well, it's a slightly futuristic name, just 20 years futuristic.
Oh, AI subtitles fair. As opposed to actual human written subtitles on the disc. This is from YouTube,
it's funny. It's funny because YouTube's auto-generated subtitles used to be better and they've gotten worse. I wonder why.
AI is getting dumber.
Yeah, they
everything
switched
gets worse.
over to they've switched it over to the AI model of
the one that worked went racist.
Yeah, that's not Neville. Anyway, speaking of racist, I mean, no. Not speaking of racist, here's the trivia. 15th in production order for season 2. This is another doubled up episode filmed at the same time as next week's Space Warp, which is why Nick Tate doesn't appear and Barbara Bain appears minimally. Martin Landau is dissatisfied with this episode, and here are his handwritten notes on the script. I'm not going out on a limb for this show because I'm not in accord with what you're doing as a result. I don't even think I want to do the promos. I don't want to push the show anymore as I have in the past. It's not my idea of what the show should be. It's embarrassing to me if I'm not the star and in the way I feel it should be. This year should be more important to it, not less important to it. I might as well work less hard in all of them. There was an important bit of context next to those quotes on the Moonbase Alpha Wiki that said that Landau edited every script in season 1 and Fred Freiberger edited every script in season 2 and didn't allow any of the actors to edit the scripts.
That makes me think of the Tommy Lee Jones talking to Jim Carrey, right? With I cannot sanction your buffoonery.
Yeah, I do feel like that. But it might just come down to like you're editing all the scripts, but I should get to edit all the scripts. It's not, Anyway, this episode was mostly filmed adjacent to Pinewood Studios in the same location where The Full Circle and The Rules of Luton were filmed. The primary writing this credit is shared by husband and wife writing team Pip and Jane Baker, born in 1929 and 1924 respectively. They had a long career as novelists, playwrights, and film television writers. You can see their work in Murder Can Be Deadly, Night of the Big Heat, and Doctor Who. They passed away in 2020 and 2014, respectively, and this is their only Space 1999 credit. We've got Charles Crichton back on directing duty. You last saw his work in the episode New Adam, New Eve, and he has one more episode to come after this one. So our primary guest star this episode is, as Shermeen Williams, we have Lynn Frederick, born in 1954 in Hillingdon, Middlesex, UK, although her mother and grandmother both worked in television. She had planned to become a physics and math teacher, but was discovered by director Cornell Wilde at Thames Television while posing for camera test shots. He then had Lynn's mother call her and give her 2 hours to decide if she wanted to leave school to pursue acting and take the role. IMDb says she did so after much thought, so I assume it's as much thought as you can fit into 2 hours. Her debut was in Wilde's 1970 film No Blades of Grass, which seems like it's a gory post-apocalyptic exploitation film. The little eco horror in there. She also went on to appear in Phase 4, aka the only movie Saul Bass directed, as well as Voyage of the Damned, but she ultimately became most famous as Peter Sellers' fourth wife and eventual widow. Sellers passed away from a heart attack in 1980, and the only film that he and Frederick appeared in together was The Prisoner of Zenda in 1979, which was ironically her last film, but not his. The public and the industry turned on her after Sellers' death and the way she handled things with his children, who were disinherited by Sellers. And after a couple more turbulent marriages and severe drug problems, she was found dead in 1994 after suffering a seizure in her sleep. So that's not a feel-good story. Anyway, as Vindrus, as Vindrus, yeah, Vindrus' story is much happier somehow. Stuart Wilson was born in Guildford, Surrey, UK in 1945. He was a military brat who traveled around the world while his father served in the Royal Air Force, and after his father settled in Rhodesia as an engineer, he moved to London and trained as an actor, getting his first big break in The Strauss Family in 1972. He appeared mostly in British television, but eventually made his way to Hollywood, where he starred in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, Lethal Weapon 3, The Mask of Zorro, and Hot Fuzz. Oh, and he was also in The Prisoner of Zenda. His most recent credit was in 2016, so we can assume that he's happily retired and living his best anti-life. Finally, as Eddie Collins, we have Nicholas Campbell, born in 1952 in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. He has a long career in TV and film, and he's yet another Space 1999 guest who appeared in The Omen. And that was only his second credit, and this is his third. He appeared in 3 of fellow Canadian David Cronenberg's movies, as well as his son Brandon Cronenberg's movie Antiviral. You'd also see him in The Pink Chiquitas, Children of the Night, and Shoot the Messenger. According to IMDb, is still working as of 2023. And that's the trivia.
You got that finished face, yeah.
Yep.
That was about the story.
Yeah, say you want a story. Okay. As the moon approaches a potentially habitable planet, young elfin botanist Shermeen Williams starts getting messages from the spectral image of Vindrus, an inhabitant of the planet below, Sunim. He ensures Shermeen joins Coney, Maya, and Fraser to the planet, where they encounter a minotaur-like creature guarding a temple. But Shermeen is allowed in, and Vindrus instructs her to take a device back to Alpha. His purpose is to activate ancient technology in the temple to bring his people into our universe, because he and his people are actually from the antimatter universe. Shermeen obtains the needed nuclear generator and returns to Sunim, where Vindrus promptly swaps places with Shermeen and plots to exchange more Alphans with his people. However, Coney, Tony, Maya pursue and manage to trick Vindrus back into the transference device, retrieve Shermeen, and blow up the temple, causing the whole planet to vanish. The end. Oh, and Tony continues to fail to make beer.
Yeah, he starts insulting himself in this one.
Yeah.
This is probably one of the most beer-centric episodes, because one of the main characters is caught up in his, quest for the perfect brew and using the hops from hydroponics, which was probably never legal in the first place. He's probably stealing precious resources from, making food for them or something.
Yeah, Shermeen, Lynn Frederick is an amazing actor. Shermeen Williams is a very poorly fleshed out character.
This is like the second week in a row we had like a really stunning guest female actor who had nothing good to do.
Yeah, I didn't when
First
it started
Michelle,
reaching the climax, it was like, why did she follow Vindrus? And then she was yelling at Vindrus to bring her back, but then she was yelling at them not to. I don't know what her motivation was at all towards the end. Like, if her motivation was because she had a crush on Tony, that didn't carry her very far. That was like maybe the first 15 minutes. It seemed like she was just
I
doing
noticed.
something else.
Yeah, I was trying to read the novelization earlier. I didn't get through the whole thing, but it seems like he tried to focus the notion that she actually ended up having the hots for Vindrus, and that he basically, mesmerized her into doing these things, and kept promising her he's going to fix all her problems, but he never actually says how he's going to fix all her problems because he doesn't really care.
It would
He's
make a
just there to
ton of
manipulate her.
sense if she
Yeah,
just was like, "I love you, Vindrus. I want to be
yeah,
with you,
that would give her
Vindrus.
motivation.
I want you
There
to
you
be
go.
inside of me because you're translucent and you can be inside of things."
You can walk around together.
I'd
Like
like you
he
to walk
goes
around in
directly
the same
on top of
place.
you. Yeah.
Yes.
You won't yell at me about hops and ruining your beer.
That'd be amazing if she was just like, "I'm so glad you don't make beer like Tony does." So
Like how
Koenig
Tony
says,
is. Oh, go ahead.
"Oh, I was to say, Koenig says that we live in a world of matter, so in theory there must be an antimatter world." What?
That's what
Sure.
I say.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's like, who says?
Yeah,
Because
Victor
what
never would have
theory is
said that.
that? Okay, sorry, Brian, you had probably a better point than that about Tony.
did I though? No, it's like Tony is like pretty tone deaf and not very good at talking to young women, apparently. And yet throughout the episode, he's instructed to go talk to this young woman, where he kind of botches it every time to the point that even Maya, an alien from another planet, knows what teen crush is and how to deal with it, even though she was probably the only teenager she ever knew.
I feel like I know I'm not the first person to put forth this theory. I feel like Tony is a surrogate for Fred Freiberger. Like, he is written
Hmm.
as knowing everyone and having lots of friends, but in practice, he always says the wrong thing to everybody all the time, like to a ridiculous extent. Where he calls Irishmen, he's mad at Irishmen for being Irish and things like that. It's just and he didn't show up until Freiberger's whole reign and on everything, and he's
Right.
kind of got more of a presence than Alan Carter, who is like, Alan Carter's deliberately now written like a weird out of touch old guy. He gets given things to say like Cobber.
Okay. Well, very meta of you then.
Here,
Yeah.
take
Yeah,
this
because
football.
it's like, by the end of season 2, see if you still think Alan Carter's cool, people.
I do. I don't care. You know, he just, the way he carries him, when Nick Tate carries himself, it's just. I mean, I'm not saying that like Tony Anholt is bad. It's just I think his character is written so like ham-fistedly. It's not his fault. He has a lot of charisma, and he does what he
Yeah,
can
I
with what he
wish
has.
Tony Anhalt had survived longer to see more of his work, but he died
Yeah.
young, so we didn't really get a chance to see much more of his work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought it's like, yeah, let's send Tony, the guy who just hurt her feelings, to break some bad news to her. That'll work.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
It's
okay.
like,
My last note is that Tony will never manage an actual relationship. At which point, Koenig and Maya just kind of walk off together. So just keeping track of
yeah.
that.
Darn, they had to bring a botanist and a pilot with them to the planet.
A botanist that they apparently bring on every mission.
Yeah, because she's been to every planet and sampled all the stuff that we never saw her once until now. Okay.
Another one just for continuity, not doing their job with and Koenig being always right at the end when he surmises that they can pass the creature because it's not real. Could be a robot. It was a robot last week.
yep, that's
That
true.
robot
No life signs.
Very similar looking robot, as a matter of fact.
I know. You think you'd work it out.
Non-canon.
Oh, did you get
Last
the
week,
slam that Koenig used on Tony? He called him young Tony.
oh, I missed that.
Well, he's getting more condescending towards people.
What's
Good
that,
girl,
young Tony? Like, wow.
young Tony, good girl.
Good girl and young Tony. There you go.
Good Girl and Young Tony sounds like the name of a British cartoon for children.
Or sitcom.
Landau's drafting these statements into the script, probably.
Young Tony and the good girl. Next on BBC Two.
Here's something cool. Bill Fraser has a lot to do this episode. They didn't replace him with another guy named Bill. That was cool.
That was mysterious, yeah. Bill.
They could afford him. That's
they
good.
have two pilots named Bill. That's right.
Yeah,
I think it was just. I think they just used the same script, just like he's Bill.
I was slightly confused for a second though, because I'm pretty sure that's not what Bill looked like. But yeah, okay.
He's not been in a while.
Yeah, Gladys wasn't doing her job this week. Did you notice?
Who wasn't?
Gladys, the continuity lady.
Right.
Because when Vindrus appeared for the second time, they just showed the same shot of him appearing in her quarters when she was clearly not in her quarters. She was in the lab.
I did not notice that. Jeez.
He was because it's just like a generic wall, but you could tell it's the same wall. It was her quarters. It was just the same shot.
It saves a few dollars. How much should we talk about Vindrus's collar? It's like what translucent.
Are we starting at the top and working our way down?
Yeah, let's talk
do that all together.
I need a whole. Yeah, I need to pull up a picture of it to look at it to really parse this out.
Translucent yellow plastic over his yellow, very short tunic, extremely short tunic.
Hey, you got to be in a certain kind of physical shape to wear that tunic. I couldn't get away with it.
I think he'd fit right in on Arcanon, actually.
Yeah, it's like just low enough to cover his nipples, and that's it.
Well, he would be a serious enemy of the Arcanons because he can't do all that beard and hairstyling.
Right.
Yeah, he is sort of anti-Arcanon in that regard.
Yeah.
Well, did you notice that when he was a Spectre, you really couldn't make out the plain skull cap that he was clearly sporting when he became solid? You could see the skull cap, warping and bending under his with his hair under it. And it was kind of funny.
Well, actually, I didn't catch that. So one point to that.
No, you didn't. I was watching on Blu-ray. Okay, so first he had to be solid, then you had to be watching on Blu-ray.
Okay, because I was just watching a Twilight Zone where I could I was like just staring at the line, so
you can kind of see the line of the skull cap right above his eyebrows.
Yeah, now that you mentioned it,
but from the reverse angle, yeah, sometimes it would crinkle a little bit or behind his ear, and it's like, yeah, okay, that's clearly rubber.
Yeah, I'll give that to the Blu-ray then, I guess.
Yeah, I realized what he was wearing kind of gradually. I mean, gradually as in it took a few seconds because he's translucent.
You have to process it.
It's what is going on?
You can't just accept what he's wearing. It needs some processing.
Also, and I'll say this for this episode, man, I did not expect after she ran and was crying about the beer that a guy's head and hands were going to appear. This is like what? That was a wild swerve in plot.
I do like like weird pyramid sci-fi. Land of the Lost had a fair amount of that, right? That's when it was good, when it had the weird
70s. Everything had to have a pyramid in it.
Yeah, is it
because pyramids clearly came from space?
What is the Star Trek trendy pyramid? That also Friedberger, Paradise. What? So Paradise something.
A Paradise Syndrome.
Yeah. That always flipped me out when I.
Oh yeah, well that very strong echoes of that. But when she, this temple and you go down into it was very much like where Kirk became Kirok,
right?
He got zapped by the beam and now I am Kirok, and it's like I get real Kirok vibes from this place. And I thought, oh, that's right, third season. Fred. Okay.
He likes mystical pyramids. That makes sense. They keep calling the things outside the borders for the creature obelisks. I'm like, those are not obelisks. Yeah. Those are like weird installation art or something.
Because it was all made out cardboard anyway, right? So
I believe that at some point I've looked up the definition for obelisk, and it's just like any shape could be an obelisk. Like it's just object.
I thought it had to be stone and to be an obelisk, but I could be wrong.
I hate to actually you.
Obelisks don't they got to be pointy, don't they?
Well, we're gonna have to look it up now.
Okay.
And depending on who edited the Wikipedia, a tall, four-sided, narrow, tapering monument which ends in a pyramid-like shape or pyramidion at the top. Okay,
that's what we're describing, and that's not what's in the episode at all.
Not what it was. Nope.
So we've worked that out.
You mean like the Washington Monument would be an obelisk?
Yes.
It's got to have a pyramid on top. Okay. Very good.
That way we all know we're the new Atlantis.
At least we got outside this week, and that was fun, even though it looked exactly like Luton. because it's the exact forest they shot Luton in.
The new rule of Luton is that Luton is also, what is it, Sunnian?
8 simple rules of Luton.
Of living in Luton.
Well, it's like how the Vasquez rocks reappear on multiple different planets.
It's just everywhere. Yeah. It's a universal thing.
So that doesn't bug me too much. Like, oh, they went outside the studio. I can live with that. The one thing I was thinking is they really could have stopped here because they dealt with the pyramid crap. So if the planet didn't disappear, they could have, stopped on this planet.
Is it weird to anybody else how they were sort of like somehow the planet disappeared like 3 minutes after Koenig configured a nuclear reactor to self-destruct?
Well, it exploded in the anti-universe, you see.
Okay.
No, I don't see. I don't understand
somehow
why
it disappeared.
The planet was antimatter all along, just like Terra Nova and Lee Russell was the planet just antimatter all along, waiting to blow up if you looked at it the wrong way. I guess. I don't know. There's not any clear explanation, but yeah,
anyway,
they did neatly take it off the table of being a place they could have inhabited.
Notch another planet on Koenig's belt.
Oh yeah, what is this, like 8, 9?
That's right. Every time Koenig lands, the planet has to die.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if like if Fred Freiberger originally had the script like with him not destroying the planet, and he was like, no, that's not how it goes. Koenig destroys the planet. Like Martin Landau insisted on it.
Koenig is death, the destroyer of worlds.
Koenig becomes death. Yeah.
Well, I guess the planet is supposed to be antimatter because I don't know if you got this in your trivia, Mark, but you know where the name Sunim comes from, right?
No, I don't have that.
It's minus spelled backwards.
Oh, wow. I didn't know it ended with an M because the subtitles were auto-generated and they kept saying it ending with an N. So, okay. I kind of like that. Like I like stuff
it's
like that.
It's a little goofy, but it's
goofy,
but it's also kind of
fun. Yeah.
Minus?
What's the opposite of minus? Plus? No. Antimatter.
Well, plus spelled backward is what would be PLUSB slurp.
Sorrow minus.
A little more on Tony. He really doesn't give a crap about orders, does he?
He doesn't give a crap about anything, but
Tony is like very specifically like stay outside of the pyramid, and he immediately goes into the pyramid. So
yeah, there was that weird thing where there's a whole sequence where Vindrus like reveals himself to Tony, and then and he erases his memory just for Tony to remember who he is later, but that doesn't do anything.
That's called a mind game. It's fun for Vindrus.
But then also
he's still trying to keep a low profile, right? So
remember in the Exiles when that guy was turning old, what was his name? The guy, and then there was this constant narration from Helena where she's like, "You're becoming old now."
Yes.
The
like whole plot was a voiceover.
Yeah, there's the same thing here, but it was Koenig and Tony doing it, where they're just like, "No, you're."
I had some, real heavy.
You're only halfway.
One moment of humanity vibes there in that one. Yeah,
it was really ridiculous.
It's like, how are we going to get through the scene? Oh, we'll just have Martin dictate what the plan was. And also, when it comes to doppelgangers, he's about as smart as Brian in figuring out what's going on.
They only have to trick him for about 2 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's a whole thing where Koenig says he configured the nuclear reactor to operate at half power because he knew what Vindrus was doing, which I like. What? How could he possibly?
I think he was bluffing he's bluffing his way through that, trying to get.
Because that's when Maya was pretending to be.
Started making up all sorts of things.
Shermeen. God, I can't say her name.
Shermeen. It's not.
It does not roll off the tongue.
It does not trip off the tongue. No,
it kind of rolls around in your mouth and then just falls out.
Sean Connery saying Shermeen.
And that makes it sound obscene.
Yeah, but after Maya came in through Chekhov's skylight, which we saw in the previous act.
Yeah.
made a point of looking up. It's like, oh, how's the monkey going to get in? And why didn't she turn into a bee?
I think I wrote exactly that.
I know you did. That's why I said bee. A bird, anything that flies.
As usual, I don't care. I just want to see the fun animals, and I'm just like, yay, a monkey.
I like monkeys, like, yeah. So I'll give them that.
Is just,
I don't know if she's turned into a monkey before, has she?
I don't think so.
Shouldn't be that
That's
hard
a new
to
one.
procure.
See, she's got to have some variety. She wants to mix it up a little bit.
There was a gorilla, but it was a guy in a gorilla suit.
Right.
They didn't get a real gorilla.
That's why at the beginning of the season, she's a tiger. Now it's like, go get the dog from next door. She'll be a dog today. So the monkey, at least you gotta drive down to the zoo down the street or whatever.
It'd be a really good time to remake this series, because now that with CGI, she could literally turn to anything.
That would be awesome.
Well, they did that with Odo, right? So you kind of got that.
Yeah.
Well, you could just
Odo was early CGI, right?
Oh yeah, it was
Odo
gloopy, weird
like
CGI.
Dog, not good.
Like dog, not good. Okay,
dog, not good. I was gonna say a different word, but yeah, no.
Paramount's not going to spend the money to redo those effects, so stuck with them.
Apparently, what they lost the original footage or something, or the original footage was too low resolution for them to upscale. There's some reason. There was an article somewhere on the internet. Just Google it. There's like a heartbreaking reason they
Deep
can't
Space
remaster Deep Space Nine
and Voyager would be harder for some reason to.
This is like how they were filmed. I think they shot Next Gen on film, and they didn't shoot those on film.
Although for even Next Gen, they had to like recomposite like all the effects to upscale it.
Yeah, they did. It's like opposite of the Babylon 5 story, where they actually shot it widescreen, but they failed to do the effects in widescreen, and so
oops,
you get these weird Frankenstein prints where you can get widescreen live action, but anything with effects in it isn't. That's why the DVDs suck so hard. Everybody was glad they just went back to the original prints and said, okay, 4:3 high def, here we go, and then they released it on a Blu-ray. So that's what we got.
I guess it's pointless for me to wish for a remake of Space 1999, because there's been remakes of everything else. I mean, might as well. I mean, the remake.
They haven't gotten quite to the bottom of the barrel of science fiction shows to remake. They keep wanting to just remake the really good ones. They think they'll make the most money off of them. So,
well, I mean, also this just has the bugaboo of being 1999. Like, what do? Do you like again make it 2099, 2199? Do you just like give it a complete thing? Do you just own 1999 like this podcast does?
No, man, make it Space 19,999. in the future, it just sucks, so it just looks like now.
Right.
No, I mean, I think the Lost in Space remake failed, and I loved Lost in Space as a kid. Like, I think this premise has more potential than Lost in Space did. Maybe controversial statement. Like, in some ways, Space 1999 is far superior to Lost in Space. It doesn't have a robot.
I mean, I'm not a Lost in Spacey guy, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they could have had Dr. Smith if they kept what's his name around.
Earthbound
Simmons. If they kept
Simmons was the Dr. Smith.
They could have had their Dr.
Would have been easily.
I think that was just they couldn't get the actor. Yeah, just have the Tabor around for the entirety of the series.
The Tabor would be Simmons would be the maniacal Dr. Smith from season 1 of Lost in Space, and then the Tabor would be the very colorful buffoon from later seasons of Lost in Space.
Yeah. Simmons would just start eating a lot and getting into weird fashion and be the same guy, right? So Simmons would like transform himself into the Tabor.
No, they'd probably kill him off and then bring on the Tabor, and he'd be like, "Oh, the pain, the pain."
They'd give him an arc. They give him an arc where he starts out as a terrible person, and he softens up and eventually becomes something else, and then sacrifices himself to save the moon. See there, I should write television.
You'd rather have the Tabor around than Vindrus, right?
Maybe he sacrifices himself by blowing up the Tabor with a suicide bomb.
We nearly need to hold polls for these things. I don't know where we'd put them. Facebook. I don't know.
I mean, if Vindrus is if you open the door and Vindrus is there, he's probably like reporting to you that he's moved into a neighborhood and he's a sex criminal. You know.
I mean, he could just go into the. He could go
kind of looks like one, especially that screen grab.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he is. Like, isn't like dematerializing a teenager in order to make yourself a sex crime somehow?
I think it would be a crime.
Like specifically if you do it to a child, sex crime. I don't know. Write in
if you think transportation through multiple universes.
Why did his bracelet have this antenna sticking up out of it like 5 inches off of his wrist? That thing looked dangerous.
To receive signals.
I thought he was gonna poke people with it or do something, and it was just there as a costume choice, and it just struck me as weird. So
it was a choice, wasn't it?
It was lying around at Pinewood Studios.
Okay, so shall we break elephant. It? Oh, go for your elephant. Do your elephant.
Another elephant in the room is they say there's no life forms when there's trees everywhere.
Right. Well, later, after Lambda made his note, he says there's no animal life. So
yeah.
Because I noted that, but then I noticed later they got it right. So someone, again, like many Space 1999, since they're going both ways across, the scripts are going over the ocean a few times. They sometimes don't get all the drafts they need, I think.
Yeah.
It's a shame because this episode could have used some antimatter parrots like Lee Russell's episode.
Oh, man, I wish. They could be like negative colors, you know?
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
And they talk backwards, like they're like,
yep.
Like that's hello backwards. Anyway.
See, that's what we needed. We needed to see some of the anti-universe, you know? We saw none of it. Like
we didn't see. Did we see a single
alternative the alternative factor where Lazarus keeps fighting himself and weird effect space. I love that.
That was cool.
On negative film. They could have had a bit of that.
Yeah, there's a lot they could. Did we see another negative person? I don't think we did we?
There's lots of negative people, lots of villains on the show.
No, but I mean, did we see another negative person in this, an anti-person in this show, or we only see Vindrus?
Nope, we only just see Vindrus.
They could have just had somebody show up and be like, because he was, he's talking to somebody like, I got 3 people here.
Right. But they foil him before those plans come to fruition.
Just like Jarek and Alpha Child, and just like replace.
But they didn't look like anything. They had to steal bodies. Vindrus at least has he has his own distinct look for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Although, Jarek and Vindrus would be in a very like close race for like sexiest man on the show. My sexiest outfit.
I have an antimatter cod piece.
Maybe that's how we'll end the podcast. We'll have the Space 1999 sexiest man contest.
have AI make like a runway where all of them like walk down a runway.
Shout out to the mining section helmet and the aerial oxygen probe that were just there's
continuity at work, right?
Mining there you go,
in full effect. Yeah. Mining section,
and of course the alarm button, which didn't get pressed this week, but it was there.
Yeah, well, if you have a red alarm, I need to have the button.
Red alarm.
Oh, also, antimatter beer. You gonna try it or not?
Sure, you can't taste it because it's not there.
Through you, right?
He gets very philosophical about it. I can't use another producer credit screen grab for this podcast artwork though. Sorry. That's kind of one and
that was a great look on his face when they froze it. I loved it.
Very, very good. If send it to me, I'll post it on the Facebook page or something.
Yeah, sure. Well, I did send it to you, so you have it.
Oh, you did, yes.
Oh yeah, that's
how you
saw it.
But like, if antimatter and matter colliding would destroy a piece of the universe, then wouldn't him making antimatter beer do that? Because not all of it's going to be.
That'll just destroy his bowels.
Antimatter hops. Well, maybe his bowels deserve to get destroyed for destroying Shermeen's heart. Actually, she got bored of him by the end.
So what does Koenig deserve then for destroying another planet?
He deserves a promotion.
He should just promote himself every week since he's already at the top.
Just put more and more medals on himself.
I'm King Grand Visor of this moon base.
Was Eddie the best character in this episode?
No.
Because he had like 2 scenes. Helena had 2 scenes too, so it was like it wasn't much for him to do. In the book, they described him as being her boyfriend all along. So it must have been really heartbreaking that he kept seeing her going after Tony.
Ouch.
It also said that she had visions of Vindrus prior to this episode, like this was like the second or third visitation. I don't know why they wrote that into the story.
But they're trying to knit the episodes together a little more, right? So they flow.
Yeah, I guess in the book, but there's no prior mention of Shermeen in the book until he got to this part about this episode. So I don't know why it was written that way. It wasn't mentioned in the episode. Like, she's having dreams, like, Helena. Oh, by the way, Koenig is having bad dreams, or no, Osgood's having bad dreams, or somebody's having bad dreams.
I think Helena was kind of only here to tell us, the audience, that Shermeen loved Tony. That was kind of the only thing she did. I guess she comforted her for a little bit.
Well, she was like, she came just short of saying, "Okay, I'm out of this episode, guys. Have fun."
Barbara noped out of this when they realized it was mostly going to be location.
Oh, that's a good point. Good point there. I thought you were going to bring up the attractive guest star.
Oh, and there was a girl on the show prettier than her. Okay, is she prettier than me?
Well, she wasn't wearing a short skirt, so she probably wasn't that threatened.
No, they had a pretty young girl, and they're going on location, and she's like, "Nope, can't deal with any of that."
It seems to be the nudity that bothers her, like her approaching nude guest stars that bothers her.
Maybe Vindrus, freaked her out. She's like, "No, I don't want to hang around Vindrus."
It's really funny. It's really funny how different the 70s are to now, where it's like, Yevgeny Merton is like, yeah, my favorite episode was the one where I was in the cave girl skin the whole time. Like, a lot of people now would be like, no, do not make me wear that, please.
Well, maybe she was there this week, just hanging out further in the woods in her cave girl outfit, just on her own, chilling.
That's what she does during these away missions. She stows away, and
I think they called landing parties in this show, aren't they? Kind of like Star Trek's first season. Original Star Trek was called landing parties. Away mission was something they invented for a TNG. Yeah.
Big whole thing where Shermeen wants to be in a landing party, and so she makes a plant kill or knock out what's his name.
Yeah, without transporters, it's literally you have to land on the planet. Therefore, it's called a landing party.
Yep.
Let's do hard sci-fi versus soft core.
Well, this seems like a 50-50 to me, because there are concepts that are hard sci-fi and they're poorly fleshed out and not really explained. There's a nude man who's translucent. It's like that there is some sense in that, but also it's nonsense. So it feels to me like a cut and dried 50-50. How do you guys feel?
Gotcha. I couldn't find much of any hard sci-fi in here. I was like, maybe it's 100% soft core, but 2% for Eagles. I mean, the antimatter stuff makes no sense whatsoever and has no scientific basis at all on anything. So that didn't work. This is one where I'm like, I had fun, but I'm sitting here thinking about Land of the Lost, watching this. So
yeah,
good old Land of the Lost.
Like, this seemed like Land of the Lost style sci-fi because it has weird pyramids in the woods, right? So
did I tell you I hated that show when I was a kid because I just didn't want to be lost in the land of lost?
I'm weird in that when it's the dinosaurs and stuff, I'm kind of whatever. I like it when it gets to the weird reptilian aliens and pyramids. That's the fun stuff.
Stack, yeah. And again, pyramid power, lots of pyramid.
I actually like that movie too from about 15 years ago. I'm like the only person who likes that movie, I think.
Was that
Will Ferrell?
Will Ferrell,
yeah.
I know we've gone over this. I know I've seen it, but I don't remember whether it was you made me watch it or somebody else.
Probably somebody else, to be honest. But yeah,
that's not on Films and Filth.
It's not bad.
Not going to be on that.
You do
I don't think.
What's the birthday choice?
that feels like. I mean, Land of the Lost really feels to me like a high fives movie.
It's on my birthday list candidate list of about 10 movies. It could end up happening along with a few other options.
That's good because my birthday list was so long that I had to just pick movies for the next 2 or 3 years so I would stop obsessing over
it. Brian, what's your breakdown on this one?
I'll give it 15% hardcore, 16% soft sci-fi, And for Vindrus in his outfit, I'll give it 69% soft gore.
Hell yeah.
That adds up to 100, right?
Now his face just got creepier on my background screen when you said
that. Yeah, I swear I saw him smiling more when you said that. 5.3 Land of the Lost. Anyway.
Okay. So not
right
universally.
I was close.
Yeah.
That's middle, whatever that means. I don't think are there any movies with like 0 stars?
Someone's always going to give it higher than 0, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think that. I just don't think that movies like that exist.
I don't think IMDb goes lower than 1, doesn't it? So it's not allowed to go lower than 1.
Yeah,
anyway, if I'm asking that question, that means I guess I'm out of points. So any others that you guys got?
Let's see. Let's see. We already covered that and that and that. I'm trying to think.
I'll say overall, this is a dumb, stupid episode, but I still had fun with it, and I don't like hate myself for watching it. So that's at least a plus. And it didn't make me feel like, oh, I'm mad at season 2. I think just having a weird guy in a weird outfit being weird, like,
that goes a long way.
Season 1.
Again, I mean, it really helped. Yeah, the episode did start off feeling a little season 1-ish, despite not having any like proper science. But yeah, I think Space 1999 just catches on the most fire when you have just some bizarro single antagonist to deal with.
If we had Martin Landau notes for every episode, I'd want to have like a section where you're like, is Martin Landau's anger justified? And I think it kind of is here.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in the middle of it, I can kind of see that, especially at the end of the season. Like, oh my god, I'm not even going to promote this crap anymore. You know?
Yeah.
I guess
felt
those
like
are
that
notes
about a lot of things.
Yeah.
And why is Maya's camera so noisy? I'm gonna take some video, and it just goes.
Damn psych.
To prove that it's working, I guess. I don't know. She didn't use her comm lock like we'd use our cell phone to take video. She had a special camera that made a special noise.
Well, just like how we have the log machine, the size of an ATM machine, right?
Yeah, it looks like IMDb is like the lowest you can get is 1.0, and there are 1,212 movies with the 1.0.
Now you see why I curated the list a bit. Look at that list and see if you want to talk about that stuff.
You didn't want to talk about Meghan Markle, Unforgiven, The Bone Bridger, Crazy Bus.
Actually, Crazy Bus sounds good.
Kani Hamare Mahabharat Ki.
You said words.
Yeah, there's a lot of
what did that mean?
For it.
Well, since we are looking at low-rated films now, I guess you should pitch them the pitch at this point.
Yeah, the pitch is you go to patreon.com/podcastio and find all of our podcasts and help us out with server bills. All of our podcasts include Films of Filth, the Citizen Kane of podcasts. Brian's on there frequently. Matt and I are on there almost always. Game show about games. I lost it.
Yeah, you said a few things.
Occult Disney, Time Enough about Twilight Zone, Lucaless Pokemon, Hyrule Field Report, Monster Mash.
You said some more things.
Yep.
You think about what he said. Think about what you said.
You think about what I said.
Hey, what do you think will happen if I go to work dressed like Vindrus?
Fired.
You'd have an anti-job.
Yes, that's
all right.
Cut it.
You would be anti-employed.
Oh my god! My god! I sorted the 1-rated movies by length because I was like, oh, there's a lot of short films here. The first thing came on was 1.0, 8 hours, Troopathon 2010. Remember their sacrifice.
What's the name?
It's like a telethon.
Oh, that's no fun.
Troopathon 2010. Remember their sacrifice.
What was it? Crazy Bus. What's Crazy Bus?
Oh shit!
Crazy Bus. I thought you said Crazy Butts. I thought you gotta take all of you gotta take all the porn off of that 1.0 list before you can.
I think it's an episode of a like a video game review show that's on IMDb for some reason.
Oh,
The name
yes.
of the game is Crazy Bus.
Oh, that sucks. Okay, see, this is why that list would have been like untenable, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, man. Like that, I don't know if I want to reach the depths of 1.0 rated things.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I went. So the top 100, easy. You find the list, you do it, right? But the bottom is,
yeah.
you can't just do the bottom, or I mean, nobody wants to do a video game review of Crazy Bus.
So it's like I wouldn't mind doing like Andrew's movies, and a lot of those are like one point something, but 2.2. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's like, but you know, the thing is, his movies are all on Amazon. People are just like dicks on Amazon, probably.
And it's yeah, and you know, the availability of his stuff is kind of like iffy as well.
Yeah,
because he's not willing to just slap it on YouTube. Which I get. I mean, I
like we
understand
do.
that. Yeah. Well, yeah, whatever. You know, we're not making produced films. I'm just like, gee, should I erase this video? I'm not leaving it on my computer onto YouTube, right?
You can't monetize podcasts. It's too late. Nobody ever made money. Anybody who made money off podcasts is dead now. It's too late. They're all antimatter.
Dead. That was long ago in an ancient time.
The irony of this is the only people who are hearing this shit are people who are paying our Patreon. Thanks, we appreciate you. I'm, of course, speaking through multiple layers of humor and irony, and I hope you're not bored listening to it.
What? No.
Ruin the momentum.
Agatha all along is coming to Disney Plus.
You know, she got her spin-off, huh?
That was kind of one of the only things I liked in any of those Marvel series. So, like, if the movie,
that's the only series I watched was WandaVision, so sure, I can watch that one. I suppose I haven't followed it since. Kind of lost track of the MCU at that point.
I haven't looked at the top 100 for a while. See if there's anything that what we would have had to watch if I had done the list today that was not there before.
I think one of the Spider-Man films made it up there. Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Verse 2.
Well, we're doing the first one anyway, so let's talk about them both, you know.
And there's going to be a third one before
shot up the list. It was like in the top 10 for a while, I think.
Yeah, it's not there anymore. Actually, I mean, the order Dune Part 2 has made it onto the list. Yeah, there's Across the Spider-Verse. It's at 38 right now.
I think Luke.
I still need to watch that.
Luke suggested we just do what's new on the list at the end of the list, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, of course.
Or it's like Brian, I had a much dumber idea where we alternated 100 movies that are rated 4.20 and 6.9. Which I did.
I was gonna say, find all the 5.0s, and then you're now the tribunal that decides yes or no.
Yeah.
That's shot
actually
up.
Not bad.
Infinity War has gone down.
I looked at the 6.9 list, has some really good shit on it, actually, which is very interesting.
Cinema mediocre. Yeah, we'll look at all the 5.0 movies and decide which ones you should bother with.
I don't know. I have the search engine pulled up. Let's just go.
The order's a lot different, but the films have very few changes, actually. It's just order for the most part.
What's going on?
Okay, Oppenheimer's number 100. North by Northwest would be. Oh, Citizen Kane would be off the list now.
Fuck.
It's 104 at the moment.
That makes me irrationally angry.
Vertigo is off the list now.
I mean, oh my God. The first fucking, I put in the 5.0. Guess what the first film that came up was?
What?
Yeah, don't know. Okay.
I have to guess. Okay, give me a moment.
Okay.
I'm guessing. Okay. Is it a movie 50-50?
I'll give you a hint. It's the movie that if people put on Reddit or something, what's the worst film you've ever seen and never want to see again? This is probably the number one film referenced. Like the most fucked up thing that I've ever seen and never want to see again.
Passion of the Christ?
It's a movie that people basically use as shorthand for I'm a decent person, so I must say this film is terrible. It is a film that is.
Is it a Reitman?
from Serbia.
Not Reitman. A Serbian film. Okay.
It's so funny, dude.
I meant to say
What is
not
it?
Reitman.
A Serbian. You never heard of a Serbian film? It's
a Serbian film.
It's got like it's got fucked up shit in it, but it's also like kind of well produced and pretentious, but also kind of boring. But it just is shorthand for people must say that movie is terrible. It's the Pearl Clutch like go to basically. Let's see what else.
Okay.
Anyway, it seems to be Dune 2, and then there's an Indian movie called 12th Fail that has made it to the list. So that's interesting.
Movie. Okay.
It's just interesting when one I haven't heard of, makes
is
it.
Turks in Space still
Meg
on the list?
2.
That's on the bad list. Yeah.
Meg 2, The Happening, Anaconda.
These are
Beverly
5.0s.
Hillbillies. Yeah. Charlie's Angels, The Flintstones, the first one. This might have some merit. I don't think we should do a Serbian film.
No.
But there is Halloween.
Well, it's not like there's an order to that one, right? So
no. There's 5,000 entries here. So like I mean, I'm sure you can sort them by
how are you looking them up?
Middle of the middle.
Just to sound
I'm
like
using
a
IMDb
idiot.
itself.
Yeah, I'm looking for any option that I can do a browse by that.
Advanced title search.
Advanced title search. Okay, I'm in a
Garfield the movie 2004.
Yeah, it sounds like it kind of starts to get blandish after a while, though.
Blair Witch the remake. Fahrenheit 451 from 2018. Casino Royale from 1967. There could Cyborg. Oh, there could. God, I have to find some way to find the middle of the fives. I guess the bottom of the fives would be correct, right? Like it wouldn't be the middle of the fives. Nightmare on Elm Street 5. Oh god, that one sucked.
So let's see what. Okay, now I'm looking at what. If you just go by the ones that are actual movies, there's a 1.0 rated Romeo and Juliet. Then there's some TV shows; those wouldn't count. 2025, The World Enslaved by a Virus. Something called Rise.
No.
Yeah, this is such an obscure, weird list to do. Like it just, I mean, you wouldn't even be able to find half of these,
Yeah.
Laz Kit.
I don't think 1.0 is necessarily the right.
Finding the Asshole, Chapter 3. Kumali Seber, 666. There's your Meghan Markle. Like, I mean, there would be something watching, but the thing is, I don't think you could. I mean, not that many people listen to Films Filth anyway, but there'd just be like nothing to hang your hat on with that stuff, Whereas at least it's we like, why do people consider this movie that you've heard of bad? Is a more interesting conversation, I think. I mean, I could be wrong, but okay, I guess we shall blop this off for now. I still haven't hit the recording. I will do that. Bye.